like actual news sites and made it easier to digest, and some kind of keywords and things like that are listed at the top with the definitions next to it. So I think, not that I'm teaching you English, but I'll read out the words before we do that, before I read the article. I have about 15 of the most recent and most interesting, in my opinion, articles. There are so many on the site, so I could easily just search a word and just read a bunch of articles based on that topic or a category, because they are separated by categories as well. I chose today to just do a bunch of unrelated articles, or like random articles, but in another video I'll do soon, I want to do a sleep article. Like reading a bunch of articles related to sleep. Sometimes I say things without thinking. And it's only when I really catch it on the video, like when I'm editing it, do I realize, oh no, that's not what I meant. But anyway. So, the first one I've chosen is light and simple. And well, you would think pretty obvious, but not everyone remembers that laughter can make you healthier and happier. So, the first part is a list of vocabulary words, as I mentioned before. And we have blood pressure, the force of blood against the walls of blood vessels. Immunity, the ability of a living thing to resist an infection or disease. Fertility, the ability to produce babies. I'm sorry if that's at all triggering to anyone, but yeah. Therapy, treatment intended to improve a medical condition. Clown. I've only actually read one of the articles that I've kind of chosen beforehand. I just saw like the interesting titles and chose them based on that. So yes, clown, an entertainer who wears a costume and makeup and makes people laugh. Laugh. Pregnancy, the state or period of being pregnant. Okay. So, laugh, and the world laughs with you. Weep, and you weep alone. The American poet Ella Wheeler Wilcox wrote in 1883. Wilcox's famous lines reflect a traditional belief in the social advantages of laughter, that people who laugh and tell jokes are often happier and more popular. Another 19th century poet, Lord Byron, said, "Always laugh when you can. It is a cheap medicine." And scientists now agree with Byron that laughter can improve your health and even reduce your chances of dying. Research has shown that laughter can reduce pain, decrease heart rate and blood pressure, clowns may even improve pregnancy rates by reducing stress. Medical clowns are trained to entertain medical patients and their families and help them to relax. Researchers in Norway also found that women with some serious illnesses live longer if they have a strong sense of humor. In a survey of more than 53,000 Norwegian adults, women with a strong sense of humor had a 48% lower risk of death from all causes. Women also had a 73% lower risk of death from heart disease and an 83% risk of death from infection. If they were good at understanding jokes, the researchers wrote in the journal Psychosomatic Medicine. Anderson said, short periods of laughter during work or other daily activities can help everyone to think more clearly and creatively. She suggests that taking several minutes a few times each day to look at funny pictures or videos, joke with colleagues, or just think about something funny that happened to you. I think that's pretty nice, and I agree. I think laughter is very good, and I do often try to watch funny videos, maybe for a little more than several minutes a day. Okay, so the next article is the health benefits of Japanese style bathing. So we have first up, peace of mind, freedom from stress or worry. Ceremony, an official event, especially one to celebrate a special occasion. Meditation, the act of trying to achieve a particular mental state by focusing one's mind. Fatigue, extreme tiredness caused by physical or mental activity or illness. Blood pressure, the force of blood against the walls of blood vessels. That was in the previous one, wasn't it? Okay, well, anyway. Swelling, an abnormal increase in size of a part of the body, usually because of a buildup of fluid. Okay. So, many visitors to Japan are interested in the calm and peace of mind that can be found in the traditional tea ceremony or Zen meditation. But there is another important Japanese tradition that can bring not only peace of mind, but also several health benefits. Taking a bath. Many Japanese people take a bath every day. Having a long bath rather than a quick shower is believed to be a good way to relax, and is often done at the end of the day. Many think they will sleep well after a hot bath too. A Japanese bathroom usually has a space beside the bath where you can wash and shower yourself before getting into the water. So the purpose of the bath itself is not to get clean, but to wash away stress and fatigue. The tub is usually not long enough to lie down, but will be deep enough that the water covers the shoulders. And hot baths are good for your health. In 2020, a study from the UK found that heating the body with a bath could have many of the same health benefits as exercising, like walking or jogging. By raising the body's temperature, a hot bath can improve blood flow, which helps lower blood pressure, lower the amount of sugar in your blood, and reduce pain and swelling. Japanese researchers have also found that frequent bathing reduces the risk of heart disease. Some believe that daily bathing may even be one of the reasons why Japanese people are so healthy and often have long lives. So, to enjoy life the Japanese way, try taking a hot bath. Just don't forget to wash yourself before you get in. Sometimes I feel like these articles are written by a parent aimed towards children. I don't know. But anyway, on to the next one. Okay, so the next article is pretty interesting. So it's titled Prosthetic Foot Lets Elephant Walk Again. Alright, so sanctuary, a place where animals are protected or given shelter or care. Prosthetic, relating to an artificial body part used to replace a natural one. Poacher, a person who legally catches and kills animals. Trap, a device for catching animals, insects, etc. Amputate, to remove a limb or body part in a medical operation. Infected, affected by bacteria, etc. that causes diseases. Okay, so an Asian elephant in Cambodia that was missing part of his leg is able to walk, run, and swim again after a wildlife sanctuary gave him a prosthetic foot. Chuk, which is red as Chuk, was less than a year old when he was found walking against a forest in northern Cambodia in 2007. His foot was missing after it had been caught in a poacher's trap, and part of his leg needed to be amputated because it was infected. He was rescued by the conservation organization Wildlife Alliance, which gave Chuk his prosthetic foot. According to the Wildlife Alliance, Asian elephants keep growing until they are around 20 to 25 years old, and 17-year-old Chuk needs a new prosthetic foot every 6 months as he grows. In 2016, the Cambodian School of Prosthetics and Orthotics designed a new type of prosthetic foot for Chuk, which is lighter, stronger, and quicker for the elephant keepers to change. Chuk's prosthetic foot each weigh around 20 kilograms and are made from recycled tires, plastic, and foam. But it cost around $1,500 a year to make and replace these feet, according to Cam Whitnall, who runs the Paradise Wildlife Park in the UK. The park is partnered with the Wildlife Alliance and sends money to pay for Chuk's feet. It's the best feeling in the world to help animals, Whitnall said to The Independent. Changing an elephant's prosthetic foot is not an easy thing to do, since on average, male Asian elephants can weigh between 2,700 and 5,400 kilograms. But the elephant keepers have trained Chuk to let them change his prosthetic, giving him things like bananas and coconuts to keep him happy as they do it. I think that was a lovely story. Let me see. I'll show you what I mean. So that's Chuck, and that's the prosthetic foot they gave him. What if I can make go? I think that's a very lovely story. Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay, so next up. This is interesting. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors. 1, 2, 3. People here say 1, 2, 3. So in Japanese it's 最初はグー、じゃんけんぽ。あいこでしょ。I'm not sure if you do the scissors at the end. I don't really pay attention to that. Because then when they, for some reason in Japan, they're not taught rock, paper, scissors. They're taught rock, scissors, paper. And I'm trying to wipe that from their memory because that's not what it is. Rock, scissors, paper, that's just, no. But, it's a struggle. Okay, anyway, let's continue. So, you have a gesture, a movement, usually of the hand. Wait a second. You can tell I'm sleepy. I'm getting into bad habits again. It is quite late at night. I'll let you guess what time it is. But yes, did I read the title properly? It's Rock, Paper, Scissors. Where did it come from? Okay, alright. Now, gesture of movement, usually of the hands or head, that expresses an idea or feeling. Roughly, approximately. Command, an order given to someone or something. Version, something different from other forms or types of the same thing. Spread, to extend over or affect a larger area or group of people. Championship, a competition to decide the best player or team in a sport or game. Played to help make decisions, especially in Japan, or just for fun. Many of us are familiar with the game Rock, Paper, Scissors, but where did it come from? The game uses 3 different hand gestures with simple rules. Rock beats scissors, paper beats rock, and scissors beats paper. Okay, so rock beats scissors, paper beats rock, and scissors beats paper. It's thought to have come from Asia, although at first it didn't use rock, paper, or scissors. According to the World Rock, Paper, Scissors Association. What do you know? There's an association for it. The first known mention of the game was in a book written during the Ming Dynasty, which lasted from the 14th to the 17th centuries in China. In the book, the game called Shouxiling, roughly meaning hand gesture command, is said to have been played as early as around 200 BC. It's believed the game came to Japan in the 17th century as Mushiken. It didn't use rock, paper, or scissors yet. Instead, there was a frog, your thumb, which was beaten by a snake, your index finger, which lost to a slug, your little finger. What? That's interesting. Another Japanese version called Kitsuneken used a fox, a hunter, and a village leader. Sanke. What does it mean? I never thought about the meaning of this. Janken. Mushiken. So mushi means children's magazine called it Shifumi, and the New York Times described the game's rules in 1932. It was then included in Compton's Pictured Encyclopedia in 1933, where it was described as a common way of making decisions among Japanese children. This is so true. My kids, students, whenever they're in an argument or they need to decide something, it's like as soon as the teacher says, okay, do janken, do rock paper scissors, or if they decide amongst themselves to do it, once the winner is decided, if that's final, they don't question it. It's amazing, really. Now the game is played around the world, with the World Rock Paper Scissors Association holding annual championship events. You can register to become a professional rock paper scissors athlete. That's the more you know. Okay. I was excited to read this one because I love dogs. I adore them. Okay, so surprising facts about man's best friend. Man's best friend they are. Okay. Survival. The act of continuing to live, typically despite dangerous, difficult circumstances. Scare. To make someone feel afraid or frightened. Soil. The material on the surface of the earth in which plants grow. Mucus. A thick liquid produced in parts of the body, such as the nose. Sweat. Liquid that appears on a person's skin when they are hot. Develop. To grow, improve, or increase. You may be the world's biggest dog lover. Yes, I am. But do you know why dogs turn around in circles before they lie down? Or why their noses are wet? Keep reading to find out. Okay. Circling for survival. Before they became man's best friend, dogs in the wild looked after themselves, and some of those survival behaviors are still seen in house dogs today. Some believe that dogs would circle to push down grass and create a more comfortable place to rest. Others say it may have been done to scare away smaller animals hiding on the ground and to check the area for danger one last time before resting. And Susan Krebsbach, not sure, from America's Humane Society Veterinary Medical Association told Reader's Digest that dogs might have done this to push away the warm soil on the top of the ground to make a cooler place to sleep. Wet noses. One of the reasons dogs' noses are wet is that they release mucus that helps them smell. I think I knew that. This is according to Peter Lance from the St. Francis Veterinary Center in New Jersey. In an interview with Reader's Digest, he also said that dogs release small amounts of sweat from their noses when they feel hot. Dogs love to lick their noses too, so there's another reason they get wet. Blind at birth. Dogs are born with their eyes closed because they are not fully developed yet, meaning they can't see. Their ear canals are also closed, so newborn puppies can't hear either. Most dogs begin to open their eyes and ears when they are about 2 weeks old, according to Psychology Today. Although they can't see well for another few weeks after this, their ear canals are usually further developed when they open. So dogs can often spot or taken as a reminder about a particular place, event, etc. Craft, an object or artwork made by hand. Shrine, a place where people go to pray because it is associated with a holy person, item, or event. Blessing, the favor and protection of God, a prayer asking for the favor and protection. Railway, a track on which trains run, a system of tracks along with the trains, people, and organizations needed to operate them. Selection, a number of things from which something can be chosen. When people travel in Japan, they are usually expected to bring back gifts for their family or the people they work with. These gifts are called omiyage. Don't mind me, I just remembered something. A word usually translated as souvenir. However, there are some small differences between souvenirs and omiyage. While souvenirs can be bought either for yourself or for other people, omiyage are usually bought as gifts for others. Souvenirs are also bought to remember a trip, so they can be local crafts or cheaper goods such as postcards, mugs, or t-shirts. But omiyage are almost always food and are meant to be eaten rather than kept to remember a trip. The custom of giving omiyage is believed to go back many centuries to when people made religious journeys to important shrines. Travelers would buy religious items to give to their families when they returned, so the blessing they received from their journey could be shared with those at home. Over time, people started selling local products near shrines that could also be given as gifts. This is why the streets that lead to big Japanese shrines are often busy shopping areas even today. When railways came to Japan, travel became easier, and as people could make faster journeys, the quick transport of food was also made possible. Today, selling omiyage is an important business for local economies, and when visiting certain places in Japan, you can be expected to bring back some of that area's most famous local products. For example, a sweet cinnamon snack called yatsuhashi is a popular omiyage product from Kyoto, and white chocolate sandwich cookies called shiroi koibito are popular in Hokkaido. And if you haven't bought anything before the end of your trip, don't worry. There's always a good selection of omiyage at the railway station or airport. Pretty interesting. I mean, I already knew most of this, but I didn't know the part about, I guess it makes sense why shrines, big shrines, are often kind of at the end of busy shopping streets. Makes sense. I'm thinking of places that I've been to that are like that. And obviously, a big example would be, I think in Kyoto, in Gion, Yasuka Jinja. I think it's a big shopping area leading up to that shrine, which isn't actually that big, but big enough, I guess. Anyway, I'll pause the video so you're gonna see me back in a second with my bottle of water. Okay. According to the restaurant's website, guests are welcome to the stone house through a torchlit garden. They will have chosen their food a few days before they arrive, and once inside the elaborately decorated dining room, a waiter can be called using a bell on the table. Diners are also allowed to choose what music is played. Close to the village of Vagone, the restaurant is open every day of the year for lunch and dinner. One of the owners told Sienna that he opened the restaurant because he was tired of being given the worst tables when going out for a meal with his son. He wanted to create a special experience for dining couples. Tables at Solo Purdue are often booked months in advance, and they can only be reserved by phone during the afternoon. But the online reviews are not all positive. One visitor said the restaurant belonged in the 1990s, with all cheap statues and cheap food. Others loved the service and the privacy, and the pictures are sure to be popular on social media. No, I kind of agree with the negative review, to be honest. I would not pay that. Let me show you. Oh my goodness. This is just one picture that's an example in the article. Like what? What on earth? That's a bit too much, I think. I would not go for that. Okay. So oh, this is funny. Okay, yeah, I did read a bit of this beforehand as well. I really want to try it, but I don't know if I'll have time. So, zombies scare passengers on Japanese train line. So, carriage. Any of the separate parts of a train that carries passengers. Line, a section or route of a railway system. Haunted, believed to be occupied or visited by ghosts. I'll skip that because I've already read. I'm going to try to skip words if I remember that I've read them. Range, a group of many different types of things in the same category. Limited, restricted in size, amount, time, etc. A railway company in eastern Japan has thought of a unique way to attract customers by turning a carriage on one of its trains into a haunted house full of zombies. The Watarase Keikoku Railway is a 44-kilometer line that goes along the Watarase Valley, or Keikoku in Japanese, between Kiryu City in Gunma Prefecture and Nikko City in Tochigi Prefecture. The train route is full of beautiful views along the valley, and the ride lasts around 80 minutes. But according to the Nikko municipal government, since 2018, the number of passengers using the train has been decreasing by 2% to 3% each year. This is because of low birth rates in the area and a decrease in tourists during the coronavirus pandemic. I think. Yes. I mean, I think is it okay to say that on YouTube yet? I know that it was restricted for a while, but oh well. So, organizers came up with the idea of turning one of the train carriages into a haunted house. The carriage is full of zombies that walk around and scare passengers about 20 minutes after the train first leaves Kiryu Station. me show you the photos for here. So silly. I don't know if you can see clearly enough. I mean, like, realistically, I should be just adding the photo to the video, but less time for that. Okay. So, oh man, I chose this because if it's anyone who has trouble with today's slang, it's me. Just that out me for my age, I don't know. So the language of Gen Z, or because I'm Canadian, Gen Z. Anyways, understanding modern slang. Okay. Generation. All of the people who are born at about the same time, regarded as a group, one stage or step in a family's history. Performance. The act of performing a role in a movie, song, dance, etc. Average of the typical or ordinary amount. Disappointing, not as good as one has hoped for or expected. Charisma, attractiveness or charm that can inspire loyalty or enthusiasm in others. Charming, pleasant or attractive, of a person polite and likable. So, I'm pretty sure that I knew none of these words until recently or until reading this article. I think I knew one word. Vaguely. Anyway, I'll begin. Do you find that you don't understand the slang words young people use today? Maybe that's what they want. Slang isn't supposed to be understood by everyone. It's used to help people know who's part of a group and who isn't. But it can be useful to know the meanings of some of these words. Many people in the age group known as Generation Z or Gen Z, those born between 1997 and 2012, communicate in a very different way from old generations. Some Gen Z slang words like slay have been used as slang before. Saying you slayed it used to be a way to say someone had done a great performance, but now it means that something is great or cool, and it can be used as an adjective. So if you like someone's clothes, you could say that's so slay. So actually, do people say it like that? Okay, so maybe I didn't know any of these words because I saw slay beforehand, and you slayed it. But that's so slay. I've never heard or used that before. It also works on its own. If you think something is great, you could just say slay. Really? Okay. Something that's not so good could be described as mid. Okay, no, I think I've heard that before. I'm just remembering. Yeah, that's a mid. But I feel like I've heard that before because I hear a particular YouTuber/podcaster. If you know Joey the Anime Man, he says it a lot, I think. Because recently I've been listening to the Trash Days podcast, and I think that he says mid quite a lot. So I don't know if I knew that beforehand, like quite a while beforehand, or just from listening to him. But anyway, that might come from middle, but it means below average. For example, a disappointing restaurant could be called mid. I've never used it before though. Oh my gosh, this one really just is true. This one, literally never. Literally, no. Because like Riz, I'd heard of it in a recent video of like, it was a Facebook video. I forget from like what page, but it was like these group of girls trying to see if they had Riz or something when trying to, if they had Riz, if they had pull. I don't know how they phrased it. They phrased it very Gen Z like, but then they didn't all really seem Gen Z. Or maybe they were. Maybe they just look older for their age. I don't know. But no cap, like literally never have heard that. And if you think you can now use those words yourself, just say bet. Just say bet. Bet. I've heard that. Where have I heard that? I don't know. Bet. What? I think this one's my favorite. It just sounds so funny. Bet. That means yes, cool, or just that you agree. For those that didn't know, it probably comes from you bet. I say you bet, never just bet, which means a similar thing, and that's being used for years, of course. Slay. Slay. You can now speak like Gen Z, but be careful. Slang doesn't stay popular for long. I guess not. My oh my. Anyway. Okay. Order. How adjectives queue up before a noun. This is a language and education news article, or just life article, I'm not sure. Attention, notice or interest given to someone or something. The mental power of giving notice or thought to someone or something. Factual, relating to facts. Physical, relating to or involving things that can be seen, touched, etc. Quality, a characteristic or feature of someone or something. Origin, the point or place where something starts, comes from. Purpose, the reason that something exists is done. Languages are like games. You can enjoy them without knowing every single rule. You remember, like I do not know every rule. I know enough to teach English to youth here, but anyway. Of course, some rules are important, but when it comes to languages, there are many that even native speakers don't know. That doesn't mean they don't follow the rules. They just don't always know that there's a rule to follow. Take the example of the order of adjectives. If you're using more than one adjective to describe a noun, how do you know which comes first? Do you have a big red metal table or a red metal big table? I'm just adding confusion for effect. In a sentence like this, your table will usually be big, red, and metal. Unless you want to draw attention to one of the words in particular, the rule here is that opinion words usually come before factual ones. First in a list of adjectives is an opinion word like beautiful or unusual. Then a word for a size like big or small. Next, it's an adjective describing a physical quality, then shape, age, and color. These are followed by an adjective describing the origin of something. For example, Greek, Japanese, or English. Then a material adjective like wooden. Finally comes a type of a thing. For example, three-sided or V-shaped. And then the purpose of the thing you're describing, like cooking or dancing. Of course, we wouldn't usually use all the types of adjectives in one sentence, but this tells us which words was an order, and if you're a learner, you know now. Yes. Hands up if you knew. Anyway, I thought this was funny. I've never been to Miami. If anyone is from there, has been there, please confirm. So Spanish helps create new Miami English dialect. Evidence, a fact, object, that etc. that shows that something is true. Dialect, a form of a language that people from a particular region or group speak. Literal, of a translation representing the original words exactly. View, to think about or consider something in a particular way. Influence, to have an effect on the character, development, etc. of someone or something. Develop, to start existing or affecting someone. A study has found evidence that Spanish speakers in the US city of Miami has created a new dialect of English. Researchers at Florida International University and the University at Buffalo studied local words and phrases that are often used in Miami, some of which are literal translations from Spanish into English. For example, instead of saying, "get out of the car," people in Miami will often say, "get down from the car," which is a literal translation of the Spanish "bajar del carro." And people in Miami might say they made the line instead of saying they waited in line, or that they threw a photo instead of saying they took a photo. The researchers asked people in Miami and other parts of the US how they viewed more than 50 sentences using local Miami expressions. And while people outside of Miami were more likely to say the expression sounded strange, those in Miami often said they sounded perfect or okay. One of the study authors, Philip Carter, has been studying Southern Florida English since 2013. Is there a particular different kind of English used down there? Didn't know. But think evidence of a Miami English dialect. In 2020, for example, he found that the way Miami English speakers pronounce vowels has been influenced by Spanish vowel pronunciation. Miami and other areas of southern Florida have many people who speak Spanish as their first or second language. Many Spanish-speaking people started moving to Florida from Cuba in the late 19th century, and many more arrived from other Spanish-speaking countries in South America and Central America in the 1980s. And Miami isn't the only place where this is happening. Different English dialects have developed in other US cities, and even the UK has Multicultural London English, or MLE, which has been influenced by people who arrived in London from Jamaica and many other parts of the world. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna open the door. Get ready for the AC sound. It's not too loud. Okay. Alright. Okay. My boom. Salary. My boom. Salary man. What is wase ego? Borrow. To take an idea, a word, etc. from another person or thing and use it as one's own. Create. To cause something to exist or happen. I think I read that one. Fan. A person who's interested in or admires a team. Live. Happening and being transmitted at the same time. English for a while, you'll know that it borrows a lot of words from other languages. Many languages also borrow words from English. Wasei Eigo, which means English made in Japan. Japanese English is a great example of this. These are English words that have been used to create new Japanese words. This is different from kairaigo, or loan words, that keep the original meaning. For example, hoteru for hotel, or engine for engine. And I'm pretty sure that another kairaigo is that's not English, is arbeit, which I think is pronounced arbeit in German. Is the German word, and meaning like job. Here it means part-time job. I'm not sure if it has the exact same meaning in German. Maybe it also means part-time job or just job. Anyway, I want to add my own word to the mix thing, you know. Anyway, Waseigo uses English words or phrases and gives them new meanings. As I mentioned before, yes. And because they have new meanings, these Waseigo words might be hard for English speakers to understand. Yes, me, thank you. A common example is the word salaryman or salaryman, which English speakers would usually call an office worker. Here are some more examples. An office worker or businessman. Anyway, if you said baby car to most English speakers, they might think of a very small car or even a toy car for a child to drive around a yard. But in Japanese, baby car, which means a pushchair or stroller. I've never heard pushchair, but stroller. It's one I've used in Canada, and then I know in the UK they say pram. Music fans visiting Tokyo or Kyoto should try to find a raibu house. The Japanese people, raibu means live music, and so raibu house or live house means a live music club. Another phrase that uses English words that doesn't translate, oh my god, is my boom. From the words my boom, in Japanese, my boom is something that is currently your favorite. For example, it could be a new band that you can't stop listening to, or a new food you can't eat enough of. For the longest time I was trying to find a word that describes oh, this is my latest obsession, or something that I can't actually think of it. I know there are other ways to say your latest obsession that you are really into at the moment, kind of thing. And all this time it was my boo-boo. Yeah. There was one time where I was administering a simple English speaking test, one-on-one to students in my elementary school, and I give them bonus points if they asked me questions. And so one kid was like, "What is your my boomer?" And I was like, "My boomer? What?" And then the Japanese teacher next to me described what it means. I was like, "What? That's so weird." But anyway, if I had to, I said manhwa, webtoons, but I feel like that's just, I feel like that's kind of evolved from being a latest obsession to just something that I like. Along with manga, obviously, and anime. Oh, sorry, I keep moving the placemat I have here. Yeah. For a while, my boomer was gosh, we're past an hour. Only a few more articles. Okay. Let's see. Study why we learn faster as children. Neuron, a cell that carries information within the brain or from the brain to different body parts. Reinforce, to support or make an object, substance, military force stronger by adding to it. Edge, a quality, feature, etc. that gives one an advantage over others. Stabilize, to make or become unlikely to change. Interfere, to stop something from happening or being done properly. Concentration, the amount of a particular substance within a space, body of liquid, etc. Some say children learn faster than adults simply because they have more time in the day to spend on learning. They're also better than adults at focusing on learning one small thing at a time and less afraid of making mistakes. However, there are also differences in our brains. Babies are born with few connections between the 100 billion or so neurons in their brains. As their brains develop, new neural connections are formed and reinforced, and the types of connections that are made are affected by babies' experiences. The more speech they hear, for example, the stronger their speech connections become. And during a baby's first few years, more than 1 million of these neural connections are formed every second, according to Harvard University Center on the Developing Child. But even as they get older, children still have differences that give their brains an edge. Researchers at America's Brown University and Germany's University of Regensburg examined the levels of the chemical messenger called gamma aminobutyric acid, or GABA, in the brains of children and adults while they learned. GABA has been found to play a role in stabilizing learning by stopping any newer information from interfering with what has just been learned. The researchers looked at 13 children aged 8 to 11 and 14 adults aged 18 to 35. They found that the children's brains showed a sudden jump in GABA concentrations while learning, and these raised GABA levels continued even after the learning ended. This allowed children's brains to quickly stabilize what they had learned, the researchers wrote in Current Biology. Meanwhile, adults' GABA levels did not change. In further behavioral experiments, the researchers confirmed that children were able to resist interference from newer information within minutes of learning, but in adults, new learning was still in a fragile state for at least an hour after training. Study co-author Takeo Watanabe said, "Our results show that children of elementary school age can learn more items within a given period of time than adults, making learning more efficient in children." Yep. I've always known that kids are just obviously better at learning things. I did say I had 3 more, and now I have 2 more. I just... I don't know if I should read this, just because it's a little bit want to upset anyone. It is quite interesting, so if you are interested, I suggest looking up that title on Engu or just otherwise on Google. But yeah, I don't want to have the last bit of the video be upsetting at all. Okay, so the last article, I did actually read this because I thought maybe it wouldn't be interesting, but it actually is really interesting. So Twitter users share the English phrases they hate. So, banish, to make someone leave a place as a punishment, to get rid of something unwanted. Annoying, making a person feel slightly angry. Disrespect, a lack of disrespect for someone or something. Offend, to make someone feel upset or angry. Excuse, a reason given to explain one's behavior. Put off, to make someone dislike, distrust, or lose interest in something. British language expert Susie Dent is famous on Twitter for her word of the day posts. I'm gonna go a little soft-spoken now just because I'm tired of the whispers, and my throat is tired. Where she shares a word, usually one that people don't use anymore, and its meaning. Sorry, I'll restart that because I got interrupted. British language expert Susie Dent is famous on Twitter for her word of the day posts, where she shares a word, usually one that people don't use anymore, and its meaning. For example, in April, Dent taught her 1.1 million followers the word everyone, an English word from the 17th century that means always. But in a more recent post, Dent asked what modern expressions people would like to see banished from the English dictionary. According to Dent, these are some of the words and phrases her followers find the most annoying. First being, no disrespect, but. The phrase no disrespect, but is used just before you say something that might offend someone. For example, no respect, but this is the worst idea you've ever had. Since what comes after no disrespect, but almost always shows disrespect, the words are really just used as an excuse to say something unkind. So people don't like to hear it. I feel very called out by this next one. Like as a filler. Some people dislike it when young people use like as a filler word, the same way others might use or to fill spaces when speaking. And maybe young people do use it too much, but according to Dent, it's not just young people. Like has been used this way since 1778. So, at the start of a sentence, sentences that start with so. Sorry, this seems to. It's just me. I'm only just now starting to hear the humming. I guess it's the AC. Sentences that start with so will often have the same meaning with or without it. So, for example, so I want to start this meeting is the same as I want to start this meeting. So why not say it without the so? I feel like this writer is purposely writing so at the beginning of these sentences. Dense followers may find these words and phrases annoying, but that shouldn't put you off using them if you want to. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg uses so at the beginning of his sentences, and he seems to be doing okay. Yes, because Mark Zuckerberg is the standard that we all want to be, we all want to reach. Ain't that right? No offense to him, but yeah. Anyway, so I did actually preview this article before. I just did it. Anyway, I previewed this article before reading it, like earlier, and I went to her Twitter. It's quite interesting, really. I'll read a few of her recent posts before I end off. Twitter, now being X. Although, it still says twitter.com for me. Has the great Elon Musk not been able to change the domain name? Anyway. Okay, so, those are quite old. I want to see the most recent. Can I not put them in most recent? Deadpool 3 is trending. Anyway, so I had to sign in so that, well, not so that I could put it in most recent. I'm not actually sure if that'll work, but let's see. Oh, it did work. Odd. Okay. So, starting from July 31st is the most recent word of the day post. Word of the day is snollygoster. 19th century, one who abandons the principles for short-term gain or power. July 27th, ingordiguous, 17th century, motivated primarily by greed. July 24th, quiddler, 18th century, one who focuses on unimportant issues as a way of avoiding the important ones. Feeling called out? Who fiddles while Rome burns. That's just her example sentence. July 21st. Smell fungus. Smell fungus. 19th century. A grumbling fault finder. One who will always criticize others without looking at themselves. I'm sure we know someone like that. We all do. A reminder, July 19th, a reminder that it's one of those days, that if it's one of those days, that to letipulate 17th century is to find oneself a corner and hide in it. This one was interesting too. This isn't a word of the day, but I've always loved the way language is punctuated by places. Jeans are from Genoa, denim is from Nimes in France, suede is from Sweden, mayonnaise from Minorca's Port Mahon, Damask from Damascus, sardines and sardonic from Sardinia, and spruce, both the tree and the neat appearance, from Prussia. Cool. July 14th. My regular reminder that to be thunderplumped is to be soaked to the skin in seconds by a heavy downpour. July 12th. Resistentialism is the belief that inanimate objects are out to get you. July 8th. Snudge, 17th century, to remain snug and quiet, to nestle. July 5th. Gloppen, 15th century, to stare in amazement or gloom. Can encompass anything from the weather to the state of the world. Okay. So I'll end it off with June 27th. Pathology, 17th century. Needless and tiresome repetition in speaking or writing, often used to avoid answering the question. I'm sure we can all think of a pathologist, quite a famous one in fact. But alright, gonna end off the video there. I hope you enjoyed my particularly long video. Okay. Good night. Goodbye. Good day. Good afternoon. Alright.